All right. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to talk about the issues that matter. Today's date is January 8th, 2025. You can see the general theme here. Women are under attack, and nobody seems to give a damn. And we can go ahead and just start talking about a couple things that are in the news. So we're going to be live, but we'll also work on bringing you the latest headlines with regards to whatever may be about to happen with regards to China. But the latest is Trump ramps up threats to seize Greenland as Panama tells President-elect that canal will stay in our hands. I know nothing about this. All I can say is it sure seems to be something that can make America look bad. So there you go. I mean, that's the first thing that I'm going to be looking at. The first thing, the first conspiracy theory, the first thought form, the first bubble, the first idea, the first word, right, is that he is there, along with others, to take down and destroy America, meaning people that gave everything to this man without meeting him, without knowing him. I mean, to be actually quite frank with you, he might as well be a hologram. You know what I mean? He might as well be a hologram. So we're going to be giving you more for your money today. You also want to go and subscribe to this channel. You want to subscribe, you want to like, you want to start sharing my videos, okay? There's going to be some videos that are going to be better than others. And hopefully this is going to be one of those shows. I'm a really loud guy with a mountain man voice, booming voice. So I make a lot of people feel unsafe, and then I'm threatening and dangerous because I'm constantly on YouTube. I'm constantly screaming at the devil, and it's constantly making people that are of this world very, very uncomfortable when actually this is the person that I've always been. The only difference is now I'm stronger, and that's where the issue is. The only difference is now I'm not on pot. I'm not relaxed from the pot. Now do you understand why pot must be illegal, or don't you? Oh wow, you must be a real stupid fucker if you don't think that marijuana should be legal across the board. But hey, nobody's perfect. So you have the other videos to educate your dumbass, if you are a dumbass. Whether you are or not is up to you to decide. Hey, what do I know? But calling China 20 years beforehand, hey, what do I know? But writing several books on the solar flares, talking about many, 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 many things that most people don't talk about, all right? Sheriff, man tried to lure student at Clackamas County bus stop.
What they're calling a suspicious encounter with a teenager at a school bus stop.
Yeah, it happened this morning along Southeast Monterey Avenue, not far from the Clackamas Town Center Mall. Fox 12's Dylan Scott joins us now in studio with the story. Dylan.
Pete and Riel, good evening. A scary reminder for parents and kids when heading to school. Local law enforcement tells us a man
in future videos I'll be using hotkeys and I'll go right to the video. But you don't need it today. I hardly have any likes for all these news videos I do. Hardly any likes. So,
we've always felt really safe in this community, but getting that notification today definitely put us all on edge.
Many parents in the North Clackamas School District, like Kiera Parker, were shocked at an email they received from faculty earlier Tuesday describing what appears to be an attempt by a man to coerce a female student into his vehicle as she waited for the school bus at Southeast Monterey Avenue near 90th Avenue.
The fact that it was a verbal invitation for an older student to get in a vehicle is very concerning to me, so I just want all of our young kids and middle school and high school students to be really safe in this community.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says the student safely boarded the bus to New Urban High School, reporting her encounter to the driver before the driver reported it to the school. Law enforcement is actively looking for a Hispanic male in his 40s or 50s, driving.
The family continues to mourn the loss of their daughter with
I am in this society unfortunately treated like a suspect for looking Hispanic. So there's a reason why I'm reaching out to Hispanics. And as Hispanics get blamed for a lot of problems in America, I can get blamed. And so I'm standing up for a lot of people. Unfortunately, in this community, I'm a nobody. So I want to move. I'm willing to work for my housing. I really want to live off the grid. Hawaii would be nice. Arizona would be nice. If I was friends with CG, it'd be nice. We'd start the AM TV studio in Phoenix. I'd have the program direction studio, and we would basically have information around the world. And it really wouldn't just revolve around the Island Project probably is not going to talk to me or do business with me because I am not like him, and we'll just put it out there on the glass. Boom, shakalaka laka laka. Hello, Chris's Green's dad. Hey, I think you're a great soul. I think there should be more dads like you. Chris's dad. Hey, my dad's gonna burn in hell, and I'm gonna take him there. All right? He hates his own people. And so I am a different type of a human being. I actually care about you, right? I actually want to see you do good. Look at this guy. Spirituality,
you know what it is.
Reveals reality is an illusion.
We are
Are people an illusion
with
too?
another dose of that spiritual bleach to burn through those common and persistent blockages that seem to impede our path to awakening, our path to enlightenment. And it turns out these blockages aren't really blockages at all. And that gap in understanding can be like if we had a wire that was carrying a very powerful electrical current. Even the smallest gap would prevent the current from continuing. It doesn't take much of a gap to halt the current. Doesn't matter how powerful the current is. If there's a gap, there's a gap. What we need to do is just get that understanding in place so that the current can flow freely. That energy, that universal consciousness energy can flow freely once we have plugged that gap. Or sometimes it's a veil, a very small, sometimes
Oh, that is another example of very deep philosophical. I believe it's probably Irish or English thinker. So I believe you can follow the link down below and check out that gentleman's content. Let's go ahead and fire up the next news clip here. Biological father of teen found dead said he's angry about circumstances around teen's death.
Many questions remaining.
A
News Now reporter Brian Will spoke to the young woman's biological father who wants to know how she did get her hands on a gun.
Yeah, very tragic story indeed. Hina Hin, her father, rushed from California after hearing news about his daughter. He tells me it wasn't until later that he learned there was a suicide note and a gun involved.
Jenna would really love and see, and I thank everybody for all that.
Hina Hin got his first glimpse of his daughter's makeshift memorial Monday night as support from the community poured in. She was found just a mile from her mother's home on Sunday morning.
Her mom told me that she went missing. You know, and it was like, to me, I thought it was a typical missing teenage story. You know, you're going to come back to your parents after a night out with your friends.
He had first learned his 17-year-old daughter was missing from her mother. It had been almost 6 months since he had last seen her.
There was a letter that triggered me to come over here, instantly after that.
That letter, a suicide note, something that wasn't shared with the public during the search.
I went out there the next day searching for her, screaming her name everywhere. I saw that, the hikers, they were all looking for her too.
In a preliminary report from Henderson Police that the family shared with 8 News Now, it showed Jenna Hin had taken her stepfather's gun and used it on herself.
She had so much, for her in life. She was just a teen, teens make mistakes, honestly.
Now her father is outraged that his daughter was able to get a gun and they weren't upfront about the information.
We found out that there was a gun involved, and this is the officer, which is my ex's husband. He didn't lock it up. They had a huge argument. This was no minor argument. This is the huge argument that you can make a child, a teenager, to do the most horrific crime to themselves.
A father that will never hear his daughter again.
I just pray to God that you're listening out there, Jenna. I love you. I miss you.
Now, Hannah almost told me he had not been able to see his daughter for months prior to this happening, and now he's worried about his other daughter, who also lives with her mother. Reporting live in the newsroom, Brian Wood.
All right. So welcome to the screen version. I figure you probably need to see the actual video.
Other news here at 5 Aurora.
Right? So I'm going to make sure that we are all lined up, and I believe that we are ready to rock and roll on this. We are ready to go on this. However, you know, being that this is not professional, super professional studio gear, it's not going to look perfect.
He's searching for suspects after a teenage girl was shot and killed during a home invasion.
Just terrifying. The suspects were seen.
Look how it's getting worse. Young women, teenagers are getting shot. And then I'm getting weird.
Running from the unit where that shooting happened. Fox 31's Vicente Arenas is live in Aurora with more.
And Kim, you can see behind me that investigators are still here on the scene 11 hours after this happened. It happened at an apartment complex at Jewel and Havana. And one of the reasons that so many people are shaken up here is because this shooting happened in an area in a courtyard about the size of a basketball court. So many people heard the shots.
An unsettling scene outside the Willowwick apartment homes. It was around 6:15 this morning when police say a 16-year-old girl was killed during a home invasion at the complex.
What we learned so far in this investigation is 2 males showed up at an apartment. They got inside. There was multiple people inside the apartment. A physical struggle ensued.
Question is, did they know the people?
And multiple shots were fired, which resulted in the shooting of the 16-year-old.
How the 2 men got in the apartment is not clear. Detectives told us this was not a random attack. The sound of gunfire woke several people here.
When I looked out my bedroom window, I saw 2 people running from the suspected house that this occurred at.
And how many women have been murdered after they've been raped?
They took off running, and I kept watching. Another male exited the house saying that they shot his baby. He yelled that twice. He said, "They shot my baby. They shot my baby."
Fox 31 got an up-close
It could be a hit.
look at the unit where the shooting
I have never been to Aurora that I know of. It's a really
happened. It was still cordoned off hours after the girl was.
I told one guy at the gym, "Hey, bro, I know you want to move to Colorado. Avoid the Denver area. Avoid Colorado Springs. Go to Costilla County, Pagosa, Durango. Like, go to."
Killed. Investigators said they would be searching the unit for evidence.
I had some think, what the hell's going on?
Solar flares, man. It's so sad that they won't let you hear my voice. It's so sad they will take me to jail.
A hit and run.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Crash in South.
Man on scooter killed in a hit and run in South LA. Is the show getting faster? Is the show getting better? Send me an email now and tell me if you like the show, or if you want me to stop now and forever hold my peace. Magic shift.
LA early yesterday morning killed a man riding a scooter. Police say the 60-year-old was heading west on East Manchester near Maine when a
Yeah, I'm working for money. Yeah, right.
car heading in the same direction swiped him. He died at the scene. Investigators have not released information about the suspect's vehicle.
People are losing it. They're losing their soul. They're losing their minds. But my mind's screwed on tight, actually. I'm angry about the things you should be angry about. You shouldn't be angry about me, you know, accidentally like dropping like. You shouldn't be angry about me like just going off on like my life story or reporting news you don't want to hear. You should be angry at the system. You should want to shout at the devil. You should applaud me megaphoning Muslims on welfare that want to give back and fight Islamophobia. You should applaud me saying I'm willing to meet Trump to help him save America. You should applaud me trying to do the right thing. You should thank me. My mother should send me emails, should send me a letter once a year. Thank you for being alive. This is a real letter. Not candy and bonbons and this, that, and the other while skirting around being a human being. While you sit there frying your brain on cell phones talking to other people in the street that aren't your family, random people. You want random people to help you that aren't your family, yet you ignore your son. I mean, you people out there, you men and women out there that destroyed your families, that destroyed your friends, that have actually tried to destroy me. What is your true drive? What is your malfunction? Don't you see how you're not blamed for this event? Don't you see how they 86 me from Starbucks right as this happens? The new year, that so much of what I warned you about is happening, but it's not affecting you, it's happening to me? Don't you get that?
In this neighborhood, starting with a bang. No, not fireworks, but the popping of tires and the quick arrest of the man who authorities say is responsible for...
As I'm getting upset and I feel like I'm going to be homeless because I can't control my emotions. At least I'm speaking about evil. So what if I'm yelling? I'm not committing crimes. If I go out and live in the streets, I'm gonna fucking die. Okay? People could kill me easily for parking. It's no longer the same America. Those of you telling people to Vanderbilt, when you don't help them, you don't know what it's like to be brown in Vanderbilt. It's not the same experience, Gypsy, as you. You're way more normie-ish and normie-looking as fuck than, say, somebody like me.
All of it.
I'm like, what is going on? Why would someone just hit?
You have normie stamped up, down, left, and right. Okay? And a lot of your thinking is normie up the wazoo. It is a professional normie grade, prototype normie. Muslim's gonna do this. It's the one that I met initially that I invited to the channel in 2018. That guy who talked about the paranoia around Arabs who was running around with the vest. It was that guy who was invited here.
Hit everybody.
Jordan Moore says this surveillance video from a neighbor shows the suspect going from...
Since I recruited you, met you, invited you, commented, since we made the connection, many humans have changed.
From car to car along Westwood Pines Road in Katy.
You can see he just walks up, stab, 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 walks up to the next one, stabs.
You get the point. These videos I'm watching for the first time, but it's so traumatic. It's so traumatic to go through this stuff. So I line it up and I put them on the glass, and then we watch it, and then I tell myself, bro, you're not God, and you're not going to be God, nor am I trying to be God. So this is not your responsibility. You did not do this. Okay, and I'm telling it to play. Yeah, come on, just stop.
And now to this, CBS.
Oh, come on, the news is not something
And now
you need to put a notice on.
To this CBS New York exclusive, a robbery in Queens turned into a deadly fight on the subway. Police say the
My mother took me to Queens in 1994. No way anyone's saying should say I should have lived in Queens rather than my father. That whole thing was a setup to live with my father. Nobody rationally would think that I should have lived with that dude, Rezek, in Queens when he's harming my mom and probably dead. Or maybe she harmed him, and I got it all wrong. It's her, not him. But like, she would be a serious nutbag and not well if she thinks it was my decision, not hers, for me to end up with my dad and the way things ended up, and for her to gaslight and not realize a little boy like me doesn't belong in Queens, who has a spirit, who has a soul, nor this place, arguably not even this earth. Hell, that lady said it best at Walmart. You think you know something? Then what are you doing here on earth? Wow, give that rude, old, angry, 75-year-old white woman who hates my ass and race a medal. She just told the truth.
robbery victim killed one of the alleged thieves. Only investigative reporter Tim McNicholas has video.
My grandmother told me my mother was attacked years ago when she slept, when a black woman attacked her. They started attacking her. So am I to believe that never happened again and only happened in 1998? And that Newark is wonderful with wonderful Greek restaurants and is something to venerate and brag about and invite people to? No way.
Video from the
New York is hell.
Incident.
Nobody's listening to me in New York who's trying to get me to New York, to march the streets in New York, to clear out. Nobody's even sending me a hint they would like to see.
This MTA security video shows a group of 5 men on a Manhattan
I gave a pair of Bluetooth headphones to a black security guard yesterday.
bound 7 train just
for free.
After midnight on December 22nd. Prosecutors say 2 of them stole bags from a sleeping 69-year-old passenger and took them to another subway car. The theft victim wakes up,
No elderly person should be vulnerable on a subway system without security. Who failed them is the system. No, not Adams. The whole system itself that says your cell phone is safe. You're getting a subway with the rats. This is a way of life. Now go here in this rat tube to another rat tube. Oh, you're ascending. You're normal. No, you're not. You're living like a rat underground, scurrying around with dangerous people with blood on their mind and mind on their blood. That's nothing to venerate. That's nothing to brag about. That's a horrible, horrible place on the earth, this New York. It takes people away. It breaks up families. I mean, the most horrifying things are taking place in New York City. Don't you know?
takes one of them and a fight starts with at least 4 different men at some point either
tortured me for even moving to this hellhole and never knowing when I'll never hear from her again. You know what I'm saying? And I was right. And the question is, how much? Because I want to know how much of Cash Jordan's videos are bullshit. Because I'm not seeing necessarily, when I try to fact check, I'm not necessarily seeing we live? Are we live? I just had to reconnect to the internet. I don't know if we're live or not. We'll just continue. So let's go back.
Grabbing or punching the theft victim.
We can't stand for that in New York City. The subway system's way too important. The subway system has to be there for individuals to be able to take in safety and predict.
I agree with her, but is that what the social engineers of New York are doing is the question? Or are New Yorkers living in a matrix where they think that their owners love them or something? The owners of their buildings, the owners of their city, the owners of their bodies, the owners of their government. These people that never were really truthers, never got an education after 9/11, and continue this la, Lady Gaga, welfare state, everything is fine, and so there's a whole bunch of our vulnerable moms and dads that are in these apartment complexes, nursing homes. I guess the big shot for a lot of people, wasn't it, was nursing home atrocities during COVID. A lot of people fucking died, okay? And so there's a lot of atrocities taking place because the families have been broken up, because people have thrown their kids away, their partners away. And finally, Mom, let's talk about giant worship, Amy Ann and Carl. They were a lot bigger than my dad, weren't they? Twice the size, weren't they? That's exactly. And when you're dealing with giants, they can be bad people that actually do bad things but get away with it because they have a giant status. And by being larger, they'll have more status in the world, and they'll be better to look next to, and they're better to hold on to.
Predictability.
The fight continues on the next.
Tolerance for my dad being given a chance to be able to correct his actions, and more of a predisposition for him to become a lonely alcoholic, a psychopath in the early 80s because he wasn't given a chance, he wasn't forgiven. Whereas many others that maybe would do the same behavior, but because my dad actually is a living, breathing demon, who want to give a fuck when I'm coming to his back now. That's how screwed up he is. You know what I'm saying? So you understand that you and I, if you are of the light side, incarnated in with a bunch of demons. And if you don't have compassion and you're listening to this broadcast, I'm still trying to understand your psychology, who and what you are as a being, why you watch me when you dislike me, because they're out there. I know I'm entertaining, but it's the information that you're really drawn to, even if you don't verbally admit it. You know I'm right. That's what's entertaining. You're entertained by me being right, but you should be more than entertained by me being right. But hey, what do I know?
Car, where police say one of the man's bags sat under a seat and another on the floor nearby. The theft victim appears to reach into his bag and grab something. We froze this video just before prosecutors say the victim stabbed two of the men in the group, killing one.
This is a case that almost every commuter or every person who takes the subway can relate to. An individual who is sleeping with his possessions with him and who suddenly gets woken up to a robbery and wants to simply get...
knowing that already has happened to my mom and that she's hiding other things, these are things that actually hurt your child. These are things that contribute to mental health problems, especially when you're not diagnosed, when you've actually passed on things hereditary-wise, and after child abuse and teaching someone to be poor, you maximize someone's potential to lose their shit. Okay? And so while you watch me, but you don't talk to me, and you don't even write me a nice letter during Christmas, you're not different than my audience. And you're all what? White. And you're all what? Against me. And you all what? Think I'm crazy. And you all think I need to put away. So you're all on the same side. Won't you have a big fucking party? Won't you have a big fucking party? All of you.
Get his property back and protect
won't you have a big fuck Alex party, invite everything, and have a big talk about how I'm the source of all your problems, and you can ride off into the sunset. It's gonna be real fucking funny. How I'm the only person who ever upset you. I'm the only person who brought you hardship. I'm the only person who's yelled. I mean, seriously, I wish I never met some people, or some people never came to my channel.
Himself.
The theft victim, who prosecutors say is homeless, is not facing charges. The four men who survived from the group
Meanwhile, they send 3, 4, 5, 6 cops out because I showed martial arts. The A-man was right that I was not to do that. They think I'm a dangerous person. Meanwhile, I see one cop trying to stop several black people getting knocked out because he jumped on the car. But when they call the cops on me, they send the whole team. You know that? They send the whole fucking police team after me, and I'm one little guy. They think I'm like a terrorist or something. Your world is horrifying and is evil, and God shouldn't protect your world if you don't even think that I should live. Okay, your world is so racist, you haven't seen the worst shit to come out of people.
5, Henry Toapanta, Oswaldo Walter, Jose Valencia, and Felipe Pena are charged with second-degree robbery and assault. Pena and Walter are all...
Hispanic people will sit there behind the counter and let me speak. I'm so embarrassed. I embarrassed Subject X. I'm so sorry to you. I'm so sorry, Subject X, if you ever hear this video, that I embarrassed you. I'm so sorry that I was immature, and I wish I knew more about this place before I talked to you, because I would have treated you with way more respect when I was in that place of higher education. If I knew about the monsters controlling you and that place, I would have not been that way. You know what I mean? I would have been far more nicer to you and gentle, and I wouldn't even.
Henderson police find a body believed to be
about you knowing about solar flares, because I would have known that they already abused you. I would have known that they already tried to infect your mind and jabbed you and all these other things, maybe try to harm you, touch you, on and on and on. I'm so sorry that I did not try to meet you in person and try to get you to be a book editor before talking to you and asking you how you were doing. You know, but I do care. But in my attempts to talk to the women of this community, which are far more attractive than the person hired here, it's a no-go and it hurts.
that of
The yelling that you see me do and me being online is because nobody will talk to me the second somebody wants to have coffee and hang out with me, you know, who is going to be kind with me. I want to spend, don't you understand, days away from the internet. But right now I am called by the creator to cover this news. And I'm the only man on earth doing it in the context of the way that it needs to be mentioned. All right, go ahead.
missing teen Jenna Leah Hinn. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 11 o'clock. I'm Sasha Loftus. Officers releasing this information today nearly
I heard that you're somebody else.
week after she was last seen. 8 News Now reporter Madison Kimbrough joins us live from police headquarters with the latest in the investigation tonight. Madison.
Would you like to do an open chat in about 10 or 15 minutes? We'll see how your behavior is. We'll talk to your mom first and see if you have TV privileges and if you're permitted to have $1 this month to learn about income and equity, or if you're going to be taught poverty consciousness and punishment and fear. We'll think about it. Or maybe we'll just turn the car around now and just teach you to be afraid of a woman. And we'll just berate you until you need to be corrected. How's that sound? See,
for the past week,
if you ever hear of a good woman, thank her for wanting to help a man who dealt with being abused and being tolerant. Thank her if you ever hear of a good woman existing. Thank her for treating a good man like me with respect, saying his life matters, because that's good.
It's been a mad search for 17-year-old Jenna Leah Hinn as she disappeared on Monday after getting into.
There's no emails, but hey, thank you, Gene, and thank you, Evan. I'm guessing 2 white men, right? Older than I or about my age, right? Demographic info is needed. Great. You say no racism. You know, it's funny how the right-wingers, denying racism exists, say there are no races. Well, you want to ban people from countries, but then you say, oh no, just Muslims, just Muslims, just Muslims, oh, just Muslims. But there's plenty of people that aren't Muslims from foreign countries, jackass.
To an argument with her parents and abruptly leaving her Henderson home, and she was never heard from again.
I just want you to come home. I want you safe. I want you safe.
Why do people hate me for crying like her? Why do I as a man get treated like I'm mentally ill because I'm not a woman when I cry? When I cry like this, people unsub and they lose respect for me. But yet they can't hit harder than me at the back. So I cry harder, but I hit harder. Do you have a problem with that? Said in this creepy A-man voice, 2003 circa. Do you have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with me? Do you have a problem? Said in a creepy, angry A-man voice, do you have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with that? See, all that shit came from him in these mannerisms. I just upgraded it to be pro-freedom against the system. That's all. I took his mannerisms, his gangsterism mannerisms, his tough guy mannerisms, and I incorporated it into a fuck the system. And he's just horrified.
Oh, I want you safe. We love you so much.
The search may be over for 17-year-old
And
Jenna.
if there's anybody with a soul in this audience who sent an email, who's female, I love you too. But the males are okay. That's all we got right now. Sausage fest. That's okay. Let me know when the feminine consciousness upgrades itself. God, I really would like to know.
Leah Hinn.
Minds really want to know if there's any changes.
Henderson police say a body matching her description was found in a desert area near Horizon Ridge Parkway and Mission Drive Sunday morning. Just this week, Red Rock Search and Rescue.
All right, so let's circle down, and we need to go over.
Tonight, we begin with a horrifying accusation. The Portland Police Bureau says a man sexually assaulted a woman over the course of 3 days in her own home. Good evening.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us.
That's a serious. I don't even want to do the sound effect. Wow, 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 wow. More like rant, rant, rant.
For K2 News at 11, everyone. A lot to get to tonight. Police say this all began with an
solar flares, racism, Portland, Oregon, sex demons. Again, solar flares, racism, sex demons, Portland, Oregon, pornography, poverty, homelessness, fentanyl, drugs, demons. Did I say demons? Archons.
offer to help a 74-year-old woman with her groceries. And now police are investigating whether that suspect, Kenneth Williams, has committed other crimes. K2's Tanvi Varma joins us live now from Central Precinct of PBB after digging through court documents. And Tanvi, what?
Right over here, this spot, this is where the cops like to sit and pull people over with tickets. Right over here, there's a guy looking at me sideways. So I look over there, they see somebody with a shirt, and they just look right at me like he looked like one big punk thug. Like, yeah, bro, I'm right here. I'm different. I don't belong here. You got it. I don't belong here. I'm out of touch. I don't even look like the size genetics. I'm like a midget to these oversized people. And they have status, whereas I don't. They're big, they're fat, they have big bellies. That's status to these Latinas things. Me hitting the bag, that's like no bueno. They'll be like, oh no, he's gonna hit me or something when I try to destroy his life. Oh, he can box. Oh, that's a bad thing. That's a bad.
What are police telling you about this tonight?
Look at those eyes.
Well, Barry, they want you at.
Now that is, let me screenshot that one. That's you don't see that every day. That's Portland. That's Portland. See, that's the Portland soul in her. She's got the. It doesn't mean that she's not soulless. It means that in the physical matrix, she's hotter per dollar because she's in Portland, because of the natural environment. This is what dumbasses in Portland don't get, but some do. They see themselves as higher dollar by being in Portland, so they're supremacists. Brown supremacists, black supremacists, white supremacists. They're Portland supremacists feeding off of and being prettier and earning a higher dollar for joining in the Portland energy, not being homeless and not being excommunicated. And so if you're successful in Portland, you have a person in Portland, you have to eat in Portland, you can hang out with the guys at the gym in Portland, you can have sex in Portland. It's a very different reality in Portland as opposed to if you're me.
At home to know that this kind of thing is incredibly rare, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Watch. Although they normally can't, Portland Police Bureau spokesperson Mike Benner says they're releasing this image of 69-year-old Kenneth Gregory Williams.
We think there are some unreported cases. That's why we can release a photo like that.
What he's accused of right now, Benner says, is horrifying.
On December 23rd, a 74-year-old woman went grocery shopping. On her way home, she stopped to take a break because the groceries.
And you know how this could have been prevented, right? Let's say if she had an extra room. I know we don't like each other, nobody gets along, but that's the problem. Nobody gets along, nobody lives with other people, nobody's a part of a village, and you just rely on cell phones and cops to stop the doors from kicking in your apartment, the goons from kicking in your apartment. And frankly, it's pretty pathetic. You know what I mean?
Were too heavy. At that point, a man asked her if she needed help, and she said yes. And the man took her groceries to her home, at which point he barely.
And if I personally was my mom with the massive amount of help, I would have never traveled the world throughout the last couple of decades. I would always plan to be going off grid from the beginning, from the 90s. From the very 90s, if I was assuming there would have been a shift, like, UFOs, earth changes, knowing Carl, I would have been planning for off-grid living from the 1980s and 90s. Never New York City, and I would always have listened to my psychic son. And never tell my psychic son, psychic abilities don't exist, now I'm against it. Oh, now that you think you're psychic, I think that you're crazy. Okay? What she is doing is what some of you are doing. And so she's actually the original person that harmed me, and yet she's looping around siding with you. Have you guys thought about a conference or something, an anti-AA conference? Have you thought about building one? Have you thought about the different speakers you can bring to the podium? The different types of propaganda you can create, the different types of commercials. If the whole world's problems would be fixed if we just stopped and hurt this one person. And so it very much is like the Terminator, where he goes back in time, gonna go back in time to get Sarah Connor, then go back in time and infect her parents.
Barricaded
them to put on real wild redheaded haircuts in 1989, 1990. They keep changing every couple months. Right as they start screaming, right as these solar flares hit. But yet at that point in time, they won't be talking about solar flares. They won't even believe they exist. But hey, that's a sun, that's a light bulb, and that's it. I know the truth about the late 80s. I know the truth about Desert Storm. I know the truth about Bruce Nagel getting beat up during solar flares, coming home to cry to Ruth, New Year's Eve, 1991, 1992. I know he was doing more drugs during Solar Maximum. I know when Solar Maximum faded out, he got off meth. I know that he responded to the solar cycle. And my mom still hasn't done the math on his meth use in solar cycles. I am way more advanced in my intelligence than she has given me credit for. What she's doing watching these videos, though, is of mystery to me. Is she learning from them, or is she screaming on the other side? Because she hasn't demonstrated yet that she's going to give me credit for the solar cycle, meaning her, Gypsy, they may hate each other, but they're two sides of the same consciousness or coin. Do you understand? And why this is an issue if you want me to be prosperous in the future. You got to get me out of here. You got to get me to a real studio where this type of yelling, shouting, perceived emotional disturbance, which is really psychic ability, can be rewarded, appreciated, nurtured like a village. I need a hug. That's all I really want, is to be in a bed and be hugged. A bed full of flower petals and a village full of grass and animals and moo, cow and sun and birds chirping and all those things that made our species. What we have right now is a death culture. Okay, dying early. And this has also been, the viewpoint of this person, you need to die at a certain time before me. This is her viewpoint. You need to die before me. Because it's just the way I think, so you don't have your own retirement. So you need to die before me. And if I have that thinking that I'm to die by a certain date, then I may not live as long as I could. You know what I mean by that, right? So certain types of thinking about dying early and dying by a certain date, I don't know if I want to agree with that, to the point where maybe I need to uproot myself and completely, take a chance. But I don't have those allies emailing me. It would be homelessness, cold, brr, and we're about to go through the snow. Snow's about to hit today. You know what I mean? And so it is traditional for me to undergo psychic attack during solar flares and to be homeless in the winter. All I did is ask you to give back. And it sounds like I made you angry or something from what I gather from the comments, which is why I'm leaving the comments open, taking screenshots, saving them for my book, saying this is the contribution that I gave to society, and this is how society saw me in 2024. Broken, selfish, mentally ill, chasing money, not creating quality content. I really appreciate you expressing the voice to skull technology, alien tech, and what they're telling you to say to me, because there's patterns in this. There's patterns in schizophrenics think that I'm schizophrenic when they're the ones that have demons. There's nobody at my level in the truth movement telling you the things that I'm telling you. So clean up your act, kid.
And prevented her from leaving.
And send some friggin' emails with some positive affirmations if you're not a racist demon. I mean, learn how to be nice to somebody for once in your life. But you can't do that. So you have failed to even mock me and make me feel bad for calling out hatred.
Course of the next.
Because you love the Joe Rogans of the world, don't you? You love the Donald Trumps of the world, don't you? You love the rich people on Rumble, don't you? You love Alex Jones, don't you? It's me you don't like. It's me you don't like trying to earn income. And when I make the shorts and give you quality content, you don't say shit because you're on medication, some of you. And so don't even try to gaslight me when I bust my ass trying to help you. Okay? You're raping me like that dude raped that woman. So don't act like you're innocent.
Several days, this man sexually assaulted this woman.
For years, you mentally assaulted my brain while calling me crazy. And for days, he sexually assaulted that woman. You guys should have a powwow.
Numerous times.
Benner says she convinced the suspect to leave. About a week and a half later, police officers arrested.
I asked you to leave my channel, and you just won't if you hate me. If you have a problem with me fighting rape of women, and you think I have an attitude problem and I'm too spicy, unsubscribe right now. I would love it if you did. 3 of you did since last night, and all I did is report the news. What is the fuck is their problem?
William.
You have a problem with people? See, that's the problem with conspiracy tards. You talk about real news. You don't suck off Trump. And then you talk about human trafficking when they're anti-white knight, because a lot of them are official MGTOW. Brown men getting all the, and I talked about a brown genocide. Many people that find me are only white and hate mixed race people, meaning it makes no sense for you to be my listener. I'm mixed race. If you have an issue with me talking about racism, then you shouldn't even be subscribed to me unless you're a gang stalker, a data collector, a gangster. a bad person. Only a bad person would subscribe to me and fixate on my flaws, rather than the videos in which I educate you. The longer you stay on that cell phone, the more pain, psychological, and confused you're gonna be.
I can't get into great detail about how we identified the suspect, but we did through police tactics and techniques.
Monday, Williams appeared in court on a slew of charges, including 3 counts of rape in the first degree, kidnapping in the first degree, and burglary in the first degree. Watch how he pleaded.
He is entering a plea of not guilty to all counts in this case.
Court documents show that Williams has a lengthy criminal history.
We start with those terrifying moments for a holiday traveler, a rock thrown through their windshield while on I-35.
And tonight, police say they've arrested the woman who...
Oh, did he really say he's waiting for God to come back and kill the people that killed his people? Oh, are you a terrorist? Oh, why would you want God to create peace on the earth? Well, why don't you want your people killed? Oh, I will unsubscribe from you now. I'm a snowflake. Oh, you want to live? You want us to live? You must be a bad person. Hey, why aren't you relaxed like the rest of us? Oh, you don't have marijuana? You know, you can get marijuana over the mail. No, you can't, asshole. Fuck you.
Who did it?
Marijuana over the mail, retard.
News 4's John Hayes talked to a witness.
Yes. From a website? No.
Who was very grateful this didn't end tragically like it very well could have.
You have charges?
Sure.
What are they?
Throwing an object from a bridge.
Get marijuana over the mail. Get the fuck out of here, comments.
An Oklahoma City police
What the
officer
fuck?
explains what Amber Davis is accused of doing Christmas Day.
Seriously.
But Mara English tells me
Just
she
get over
witnessed
the mail,
it.
bro, and just relax. You can just get over the mail. Fuck.
There was what looked like a female figure.
And what are some of you joining up in the members area while talking shit to me? Cancel your membership now. Your money's no good. You're a demon.
Coat
You're
and
not
a
gonna learn anything from me. It's only gonna hurt you the longer you suck on Satan's cock. And to come to my channel to fuck with me.
hood over her head, and she raised her arm up in the air and she threw something down.
It happened while she and her husband were heading to Christmas dinner, driving north on I-35 near the Southeast 29th Street Bridge. While the object came close, English says it ruined another driver's day instead.
The car next to me, the GMC, it slowed way down, like went around me and then took the next exit.
English knew something was wrong.
It wasn't shattered to where it was broken through, but it was shattered to where it was cracked all the way through.
Mara called the police.
Somebody's throwing something off of the bridge.
Very beautiful. So let's ask the pendulum here. Is she angelic leaning? Is she angelic leaning and basically someone who did not deserve this? All right. Is she basically angelic leaning? Is she angelic leaning? Is she angelic leaning? Well, we're getting an answer, so then we do the reverse. Is she then, according to the pendulum? All right, well, you can go ahead yourself and ascertain answers with regards to certain events, and you might also ask, let's say there's a Story Corrections officer killed. Okay, did he set it up for inmates to get raped? Yes or no? Because you want to ascertain if there was an action that he did that removed the hand of protection. Then in that case, I got a yes. You know, in this case, we could see heavy use of makeup, so she may have done something to remove the hand of protection. So was the hand of protection removed from her life? A simple yes or no, without deviating. Okay, we'll make sure that and I have a new pendulum coming in the mail that's weighted. Okay, so was the hand of protection removed from her? Did God remove the hand of protection, so to speak? Yes, okay. All right, so a lot of you were encouraged by me just to add protection to you, to recognize that certain lives matter, 9/11 was not as they said, and millions dead in the Middle East of my kind, not your kind, that's going to affect me and my mental health. Do you speak English by chance? No? A little bit? Only when you feel like it. Okay, only when you want to talk to me. Okay. And you don't want to talk to me because I'm bringing that up, and you're not racist, right? Right. And we're just a big happy family, and you appreciate my newscast today, right? Right. See? But keep in mind, many newscasts that I do for you have hardly any likes, in which I just do the news. And so kowtowing to you and try to censor this doesn't get me anywhere. We already did that, bro. We already did that. We'll just do the newscast and keep myself out of it. And you won't even like the post. I took myself out of it. I even took my face and voice out of the newscast, and you couldn't even like the video. So say that shit, say that shit. No amount of censorship works, actually. The only thing that resulted in some women in my life helping me when I needed it, and I noticed I said women, not men, was me saying it like it needed to be said. And so the woman that gave me money to get out of Portland, she appreciated me saying the things that needed to be said, and that was it. We had asked her to help me get on the phone to get an internet set up, and then she got the interference, and she didn't want to help me again. I was trying to get a satellite internet hookup, and I was frustrated.
To throw one of these at a driver, it could all
energy goes out where they're like, he's frustrated, we can't help him. And honestly, it's really not that bad. It's more like when I'm talking
at 5:30, what motivated
cell phones and Facebook. It's
a deadly attack with a metal
to have no tolerance for whatever type of emotions I'm expressing.
Mitchell Burke's body was found in these woods in Hubbardston on Saturday, badly beaten with his pants down to his knees. The 32-year-old had last been seen on New Year's Eve, the day investigators believe he was attacked. His mother told police he'd gone out with Ryan Wilcox, who was his former boss, and never came home. Here's Wilcox's lawyer.
That's my understanding, that they worked together at some time a long time ago in the past.
Ryan Wilcox was interviewed by police at a family home in Worcester on Sunday. Neighbors told WBZ police were...
All right, I'm going to thank you for watching.